Thanks a lot, Steve. And first of all, I have to say that isn't this guy amazing? Just that he sets us up, and just with all of his humility to come in here. And I know that it's the truth when he says that there's nothing to sell. You're coming here, and this is a meetup thing. And when he told me that at the beginning, I was like, okay, well, what's the deal then? Like, why do people come, or why do you do it? He says, because I really care about the message. I care about people moving forward, and I care about personal development, and I get it from him. It's something where he's not hiding it, so it's something that's true. So you have a great leader here for Coffee Chat. Who wants to win at life? All right, not a single hand that's down. I was born a winner. Who was born a winner? Okay, cool. Awesome. Very cool. I like a motivational speaker and evangelist. His name is Tony Campolo. Anybody heard of Tony Campolo? Yeah? Okay. So there's not many people, so you haven't heard this story. So this will be great. So everybody is a winner. And the way that he tells his story is that you know that you're a winner because you at one point in your life were up in a line against a million other people. And there was a race. And there was a long, dark hallway, and you won. So there's no way that you could say that you're not a winner. From conception, you were a winner. You were conceived a winner. And I love that, because really at the heart of it, if we're real, we were born winners. We were born amazing. And I have two little boys that I take so much in from. I have a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. And tell me, like, learning experiences are like all over the place. But one of the best things that I actually see in my children is their absolute determined spirit and absolute just like aliveness. I don't even know if that's a word. But they are so alive in whatever they do. They just like go for it. They want to go for it. They live with passion. Just the other day, we were at West Edmonton Mall, and one of the things that I recognized with my 3-year-old is he takes off. So we were at Galaxyland, all of a sudden your kid's gone. It's like, where'd Josiah go? And my 3-year-old had zipped by the clerk that was working the gates to let people into the playland. Who's been at Galaxyland? Okay, so I'm talking to a few of you. There's a big, huge, like monkey gym kind of thing in Galaxyland. And he zipped past the clerks, and he was just like, he was already on the 3rd floor. So before I found him. And then he's like, I just saw him. He didn't care. Like, he saw me, acknowledged that he saw me, and then ran back up as far as he could go, and then he's sliding down. And then I chased him, and I couldn't find him when he got down. And they have these, like, windy things that wind all the way up and around, kind of like a water slide, but they have tiny little areas where they can climb. And he climbed 3 stories like this. And I just thought to myself, the determination and the spirit and the passion of a 3-year-old, what can we learn from that? Like, he teaches me things all the time about life, about living. Somewhere in a lot of people's lives, they have released something. They have released a special part of them somehow, and that childlikeness it dissolves in a way. It's almost no better way of describing it. Where we're not as determined, we're not as passionate, we're not as childlike it's like, I'm not going to go climb up this water slide thing and then get to the top just to go slide down a slide. Are you kidding? But he did that because him and his mind's eye said, if I climb to the top, I get to slide down that curly thing. And that was winning to him. So he was willing to do whatever it took to climb up that thing, and it was fun, so he could slide down there. So today, I have a talk for you, and I want to share the 5 secrets that I've been living with and that I feel are absolutely essential if you want to win at whatever it is in your life. And we're going to illustrate it in a real fun way, too, with a game, because games are cool. So before we do that, I'm a life coach. So life coaches usually like to visualize and do visualization. So would you take part of in a visualization with me?
Absolutely.
All right, cool. All right. So everybody just close your eyes and imagine that it's summer. And imagine that you're at a totally peaceful place and it's your favorite place in the world. It could be a meadow, could be a beach, and it could be just someplace from your childhood that is just so peaceful, so tranquil, and just lock in on that place. Just lock in on where you are. Just lock in on it. Experience the sun as it beats on you, if that's where you're out in nature. Experience the wind. Experience just where you are and the peace that it brings you. And now just imagine that just beside you is a nice, really comfortable chair. And take a seat in that chair. And just a few feet over is another comfortable chair. And I'm sitting in that chair. And I look at you and you look back at me and we're smiling and enjoying the place where we're at. And I ask you just one simple question. What would it take for you to know that you had the most amazing year ever? And just pause and just take that in. Just take it in. Tap into the feelings that would come up. What kind of feelings would you want to express if you had the most amazing year ever? Tap into the smiles, tap into the life that you would have. Tap into the abundance that you would have. Realize that your goals have come true. And you're living in this place of having the most amazing year ever. You can open your eyes. What were some of the things that came up? What was that?
I already feel that now.
All right.
I just couldn't think of anything because I'm in that space now. This is the most amazing year.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know you, Crystal. You've got that passion going on. You bet. What else came up? Even just one word. Shout it out.
I want to be pain-free.
Pain-free. Excellent. What else? Adventure.
Travel.
Travel.
Debt-free.
Debt-free. Excellent.
Joy.
Joy.
Content.
Content? Yeah, that's great.
When I was a kid and I went to camp, and I was swinging from the tree and I tried not to fall off the rope.
Yeah?
That's what came up.
Oh, that's cool. That's right on. And where was your place where you were visualizing?
John Bosco camp.
There you go. That's awesome. That probably tells you a little bit of something.
Yeah.
If you look at it a little bit deeper, that's the place you chose of any place that you could have.
This is a good time there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. Gary, what came up for you? No worries. Anybody else? Yeah?
I would just be free to be me, I guess, and not worry about anybody else thinks.
Yeah.
I came up with peace too because that's how I feel right now. Like everything's kind of at peace, right? Just go with the flow.
Yeah. Cool.
Curiosity and wonder about the world around you.
Curiosity and wonder about the world around you?
So many interesting things to see, so many interesting things to do.
Yeah?
So being able to take part in any new experiences that can
Oh man, that's awesome. Curiosity and wonder. That's great. Cool. There's so many wonderful things that can come out of little visualizations like this. I do intentions like this all the time. And part of the reason why we do intentions and we do visualizations is because your mind is absolutely tapped in on the visualization. There's tests that have been done, and I believe the studies that have done, because there's multiple reports on different studies, and I believe because I've seen the results in my life, how I've manifested things. And I'm sure that you could confess that there's different times in your life where you've visualized and you've seen it actually come true in your mind, and you've actually had it happen exactly like that. But when we think about these things, and we ponder and we embrace these things, know that you can win. You can actually succeed at them. The first part of the childlikeness, comparing it to the childlikeness, is that as an adult we rationalize first. I'm asking you to think of the child first and to actually enjoy and be in the place of saying, okay, I can. There's possibilities. There's wonder. There's that joy and contentment that I totally can have. I can have the most amazing year ever. So I promise you, if you're going into life and you're thinking about having the most negative year ever, you're totally going to get it. But I also promise you one other thing. It's going to come up in one of the keys, is that if you don't think about anything, what do you think you're going to get? Yeah. It's very seldom when things really just like fall in your lap in life. Yeah. The odd person wins the lottery. But a lot of people count on that, don't they? That's cool. What does it mean to win at life? I'm going to open this up for a bit of discussion, and just to keep order, because there's so many people here, just to like brainstorm. We'll do like a laser brainstorm. What does it mean to win at life? And just say just like a quick sentence, and feel free to just like speak up.
To be loving and be loved.
Yeah.
Be happy.
Be happy. Yeah. Excellent.
I think to be content with yourself.
That's great.
Fulfilled.
What was that?
Fulfilled.
Fulfilled. Excellent. Yeah, that's awesome. What was that, sorry? Oh, you were just agreeing?
Yeah.
Awesome. That's great. Yeah.
Continue to self-discover.
Continue to self-discover. Fantastic.
Happily achieving.
And did you say achieving?
Happily achieving.
Happily achieving.
Instead of
All
being
right.
happy.
There you go.
Strong sense of self-advocacy.
There you go. Fantastic. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't be afraid to think like a child.
Ooh.
Be like a child.
Yeah.
Like my grandchildren are coming, and like I enjoy, unfortunately, coming is crazy, but a lot of the things that they like, and it's just a wonder to watch them because they feel first, and then they think later, and they do what they feel, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah. Totally. I just thought of my son again. Just the
Yeah.
same thing. Just
Yeah.
exactly that. They feel and they express, and they care first,
Yeah.
and then, the rest of it. That's awesome. That's great.
My favorite quote is, now correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's like, dance like no one's watching, sing like,
No one's
dancing,
listening.
yeah, that one, dancing,
Singing.
yeah,
Yeah, sing that
You know what I'm
nobody's
talking
listening.
yeah, that one.
Yeah.
And I think since I've seen you since the summer, I've tried to do that, and I think I've been doing a lot better. And I think in my mind, that's like something that I'm trying to follow and to answer your question.
That's awesome. I think that she deserves an applaud for that, actually. That's great. That's awesome. Very cool. We all want to win at life, don't we? In a way. Talking about the child, now I'm going to talk about hockey. I want to win when I play hockey. I play hockey. I'm a goalie. There is no other position in any sport that has more riding on it. I'm biased, I'm a goalie, but I don't think that anybody could argue me out of this one. The forwards have the defenseman has the goalie only has the red light. That's all he's got. So when you're talking about winning, when I go out there and I play, I'm playing to win, and whatever it counts, whatever I have to do, however I have to flop, I'm doing it just to stop the puck, and whatever it costs that's my attitude. And I hate losing 1-goal games. Drives me crazy. People come into the dressing room just like, oh yeah, we tried real hard. And like, all I'm thinking is like, we're that close. I want to win. I know it's rec hockey. I used to play competitive when I was little, but now we're adults. I didn't make the NHL. But but we want to win, right? So I pulled that into there in my attitude about life. And right now, winning with this audience, for me, as I was coming here, I was doing an intention. And I'm a spiritual guy. I talk to God. And I come up with new things every time for every audience. And I felt that God's message for me, and for me to win in this audience, is for you to actually receive a message that you are loved. And that you can love yourselves even more. And if I can relay in some way a message about you loving yourself so that you can actually love more and love others and overflow out of that, then I feel that I've won in this arena. Every single arena has a way for you to win. And it's not in the shooting and scoring kind of way, but there's determination that comes in as well. So we've talked about the child. We've talked about a little bit more about the visualization. And we talked a little bit about the determination and the winning and the sports and those type of analogies, right? But now there is the angle where it's like, okay, we can't just live as the child and just like think visualizations all the time and just like bring it all in. There's a point in life where you have to say, okay, we have to know some things. And that's good, right? We have to know. It's like when I fly in the air, I want the pilot to know what buttons go where. It's like he could be the nicest guy in the world and like shake my hand and smile at me, and like he could be like super friendly, but I want him to know where he's going and what to do, right? So what do? That's the biggest thing, is that people want to know the hows, how to. So I've crafted this message in a way to actually how to. So I have 5 keys on how to. But I want to tell the strategy part and not leave out the attitude of the child as well, okay? So if you catch me on this, I'm going to get into strategy, but don't forget about the child, don't forget about the visualization, okay? So the 5 keys are this. Discover yourself early and often. Key number 1. Discover yourself early and often. It's not just enough to have clarity and to get where you are. You need to discover yourself early, where you are, and often. Some people might think that, okay, I did a personality test, I'm good. I know that my personality is like this, and I know that I have conflicts with these people, and people come to me just like, yeah, I did the Myers-Briggs, and I know how to do that, and it's like, okay. That's one aspect. It's like, that's not going to help you forever. It's like, how are you discovering yourself early and often? If you do it, I'll tell you the results. If you do it, if you discover yourself early and often, you will definitely be able to curb a lot of the consequences and the circumstances that are going to hit you in life. And I promise you this also is that when you do get hit down to the ground, you'll be able to rebound easier. Because you're like, yeah, I did my best to actually try to, protect that from happening, or I actually foresaw an element of that happening in this relationship, and I saw part of that coming, so when it hits you, it's just not blindsiding you. This is so valuable, ladies and gentlemen, to discover yourself early and often. As a goaltender, okay, so what does that happen? Bringing it back to sports. Discovering what happens as the play comes down. I'm watching, the play's developing as it's coming my way. I'm not just looking at the guy with the puck. If I just look at the guy with the puck, that guy has other modes and other ways to get that puck behind me other than just shooting it. So if I'm just staring at that guy, I'm not open to actually seeing the ice surface and how the play is developing. I'm not seeing that my one defenseman is one stride behind this guy, and this guy's got an open opportunity to pass it in one time and behind me. I've got to be aware of that. I've also got to know that at a certain point that my defenseman does have a step on this other guy, and my percentage opportunity is to go forward and to actually cut that angle off so that he really doesn't have a chance to pass it. All he has a chance to do is to shoot it. He shoots it, I've cut the angle off, my percentage is there, I've stopped the play, and we have another opportunity now to continue on. I've done my job. I've discovered myself early and often. How does that look in life? I'm going to show you through a game a little bit later about discovering yourself early and often. It's vital. Now, every area of life you need to do this. Relationships. You need to look at your relationships that you're having right now, because you probably are having conflicts right now in your relationships that in a relationship that doesn't need to be there. Perhaps there's words or there's things that you've outstepped or you've stepped into that you guys, I'm just looking around the room, you know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you? When you discover yourself in relationships early and often, you can come into the situation, you can say, hey, I'm really sorry about that. And you can laugh about something before it escalates. Now, I'm not perfect, but I've done that sometimes with my relationship with my wife, and we go to bed happy, and that definitely helps. And there's enough things, especially raising children, I'm sure a lot of the people here have raised children, that there's other tensions other than your actual bond with your spouse. So relationships, that's one area. Well, what are the other areas that you could look at? Well, health and well-being. Well, discover yourself early and often. Don't discover yourself when you need to go to the doctor because you're feeling a pain in your gut. It's like, do some tests. Look at yourself. And this is a hard one because people don't want to actually be self-critical on their lives. So, just saying, before it actually gets to the point where it's escalated, discover yourself. Discover where you are. Discover so you can actually move forward and move into where you need to move into. Cool? Key number 2. Secret number 2. Secret number 2 is living with balance and gaining momentum. Living with balance and gaining momentum. So living with balance, what does that look like? Well, once again, I'm going to illustrate this at the very end. That's where the question and answers are going to come into. But living in balance means that you actually are appreciating all of the areas that need to actually be appreciated in life. There's not just one component. You may be focusing all your attention because you're busy at work, but that's just one core component of your life. If you're just focusing on that, you may be striving, you may actually be really successful in that area, but you'll flatline on other areas of your life. So balance is important. Now, another aspect of balance that is really important too is that it is okay. This is Scott's belief, and I actually feel I've done this enough with clients that I find success with this. It is okay to be out of balance for a period of time as long as you're following secret number 1. Secret number 1 is
discovering yourself.
all right. So if you're following secret number 1, you can actually get out of balance for a period of time and you're okay. Why? Because in some places in your life, you will have to push through and you will have to just do something. There'll be a point when you maybe have to just I have to push through and do this job thing because I'm buying a house and this is really important to do the overtime. Or Olympic athlete, they're going to push through to train as much as they can so that they get up on that podium and they compete there. They're going to be out of balance in some other areas of their life as they're pushing through to get there. If you are actually aware of where you're out of balance and you discover that, then you can easily come and bring yourself back in and reel yourself back in and actually be whole and complete. I'm not a believer in the philosophy, and you may have heard it, that a life wheel should be like a circle, exact circle, all the time. And if it's flat at all, then it's like a flat tire on a bicycle. I don't follow that logic. If it's like that and it happens to look like that, that's okay, but it doesn't have to. In fact, some of the best things that can happen in life are when you choose to say, I'm pushing through and I'm going to do this, and your determination allows for you to actually go through here, and you're taking yourself out of balance in a few areas of your life, and you're pushing through, and that's what's most important and core to you. All right? Second part of it is momentum, gaining momentum. Right? Gaining momentum means what? What does that mean?
Building on success.
Building on success? Yeah. Sure. What else? What else does it mean?
Growing,
Growing?
learning.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Going forward and picking up speed.
Going forward and picking up speed. You're right on a really good trail there. Who else can piggyback on? Sorry, what was your name?
Brian.
On Brian's thing. Who can piggyback on his thing and take it one step further?
The amount of energy that you felt for that momentum.
Nice. Cool. I define momentum in life is the amount of energy and effort it takes to get somewhere. The amount of energy and effort it takes to actually get somewhere, to get your life in motion. Who remembers physics in grade 12? We learned about a concept called inertia. Yeah? All right. So the concept of inertia is that if you have a pinwheel, it can spin on its own at a certain point. There's sort of like a breaking point where it actually has enough thrust that you've given it. But if you just give it this little bit, it won't do anything. If you give it that little bit, it still won't do anything. At a certain point, you spin it good enough, it actually will keep on spinning. Of course, with the laws, it will eventually slow down and stop. But with inertia, it will actually continue to actually spin. This is a good analogy for people who you think have lives where everything happens for them. Whoever has been jealous of somebody who's like, that seems like they have everything good happen to them. Who's ever felt that way? Sure. And part of the reason is because of that principle. Is that they've got some areas of their life to actually spin fast enough that the momentum's gaining speed, so that the energy and effort they have to actually put themselves into to actually raise other areas of life up that aren't necessarily as high, isn't as hard. Cool, hey? Who would love to have that happen for them? Who would love to have inertia go on in their life? Yes! Awesome. I think they're getting it, Steve. This is great. Cool. Number 3. Number 3 is develop areas of trouble. Now this one's a no-brainer. You can't just look at all of the areas that you like in life and just look at those. Sorry. You can live in your passions and you can do that. That's great. But if one area is totally kicking it in the pants, you need to develop it. Even if it's maybe not your favorite area. Look at a business for an example. You have marketing, you have advertising, you have finance, you have the actual production floor, the sales floor, depending on what kind of business you have. Well, say that you have everything except for your sales floor is just like biting it. They're not doing anything. Well, you can have all the production you want. You're not selling anything. Or what if, marketing's not out there? You can have all of the products and the best salesperson out there, but you have no marketing and you don't have anybody coming to their door. Nobody knows about you. What about your life? Develop the areas that you know are in trouble. And there's areas in everybody's life that need to be developed. And part of it is actually following the first 2 principles to actually understand where those areas are. To discover yourself early and often, look where the balance is, where the momentum is, where it's not. And it's okay to actually look at where it's not. But then develop those areas because you need to raise them up. You want to be whole? Who wants to have a whole life? Alright. Cool. You guys are awesome. I like this audience that you bring out here, buddy. This is cool. I want you to have a whole life. I want you to. I want to live a whole life. So, what's number 3? Shout it out loud.
Develop the areas of trouble.
Develop areas of trouble. Excellent. Cool. What's number 1?
Discover yourself early and often.
Cool. What's number 2? Yep. Well, that's part of it. What's the first part?
Balance.
Living with balance and gaining momentum. Excellent. Yep. And number 3, of course, is develop areas of trouble. Number 4 is fun. Develop areas of trouble. That's not the fun one. But 4 is fun. 4 is good. 4 you'll like. 3 might be the hard one, but 4 you'll like. 4 is building overflow. Overflow rocks. Tell you why. When you actually do the first steps and you actually go through it and you're starting to live with that inertia and you're starting to feel that abundance, you're starting to feel like that energy that's coming your way, all of a sudden abundance, which actually means overflow, to overflow, abundare is really waves that keep on coming in without cease. That's where the Latin root is of abundance. So when overflow happens, that there's a spillover, right? It's like this tea. Right now it's this full. Well, imagine that it actually kept on coming up as I drank it, more would come. I'd never have to actually go and refill it. Cool. That's awesome. That'd be the best tea bag ever.
Market that baby.
Yeah, that's right. That'll be the next one. It's like, yeah, I want the overflow bag. But I've seen it happen in my life where overflows happen in my life. Okay? And this is how it looks. I come home with a happy attitude because I just really met with the coffee chat people, and I just got great energy from this whole room sitting in here. I'm going to go home right now, or when we're done, and when I go home, it's going to spill over onto my wife, and she's going to get something. And it's going to spill over onto the kids because my wife and I and all of the thing is actually going to be overflowing. And there's more that actually comes. Our conversation's going to be more interesting than if I just sat on the couch and I did nothing or I drank a bottle of wine. And overflow happens now in the most important area for me, which is my family. And overflow happen also in the area of God and spiritual, because I think that in this atmosphere, in this room, there's a oneness. I believe in oneness and spirit, so we're all connected somehow, so that there's overflow that happens. So whatever energy I actually produce or put out, that is caught somehow. And that you take that's a free gift, take that out, and then that's going to overflow on somebody else the next day. And as you apply it and you apply this principle and this strategy into your life, overflow actually happens without you even knowing that it's happening. That's the cool part. So as you also, in another way, we're going to look at a really cool game that I built to help illustrate. One of the points is to help illustrate this point. As you look at the abundance that actually overflows in your life in whatever area, say that it's your health and well-being, you raise it from, just like an average state to an abundant state where things are really happening for you. All of a sudden your lifestyle improves. You didn't even try to improve your lifestyle, but it did, because you were happier with your body. Now all of a sudden you look at God and spiritual, all of a sudden you said, okay, I'm going to connect more with my God. Now all of a sudden there's an overflow now with your relationships. It's just like, wow, look at all the overflow that can happen in life. There's a caveat though. It can work in the reverse. If you do nothing, it's just like rust. Who can come up with a word that might be like the opposite of overflow?
Complacency.
Complacency, yep.
Drought.
A drought, yeah.
Stagnation.
Stagnation.
A leak.
What's that?
A leak.
A leak? Sure. Who'd like to be in the ocean in a leaky boat?
I was going to say,
What's that?
I was going to say contamination, but I like his leak better.
You like the leak? Yeah, contamination kind of fits too, though, right? What else is coming up?
Vampiric.
Sorry, what was that?
Vampiric.
Vampiric.
Because you're sucking the life out of everybody else around you.
Wow. That's like, I got to write that one down and put it in my bank here. Sound like a word? Did somebody come up with this? Is that an actual word?
Well,
What's your name again?
Damien.
Damien, I'm going to quote you then. Vampiric, that's good, hey? People can feel like they're vampiric sometimes in your life too, right? It's like, you just want all my overflow. So another word that comes out is the opposite of abundance, which is scarcity. Scarcity. That's a pretty crappy word, actually. But a lot of people live with a scarcity mindset. A lot of people live with a scarcity mindset. Yeah. And when you live with a scarcity mindset, you always look at whatever is not enough. You don't look at what's enough. Abundance, for me, what my definition is abundance is believing that you were created as more than enough. Again, back to the very beginning of conception, that you have more than enough and that more than enough is coming to you in the future. That's abundance. That's what I believe abundance is. So what's the opposite of that? You're not created as more than enough. So then, what does that say to you? Is that, well, you're created with you're created with like doubtfulness, and you're created as unworthy and not accepted, not belonging, all these things. Well, what else is that? Just like if that's the starting point, what overflows from that? Negatively, right? And then, okay, well, you don't have enough. That's like the pie syndrome. It's like if a piece of pie gets taken out of your life, then that can never be replaced, so you hold on to everything. right? So that's scarcity, right? And then, again, what's not going to happen in my life, what can't happen in my life, what won't happen in my life. You're eliminating the possibilities. Things may look bleak, but when you eliminate the possibilities and you say things like that, then there's a good chance that that'll actually happen. Okay? So what's secret number 4?
Building overflow.
Building overflow. Okay, who wants that though? All right. Okay, let's say, what's secret number 4?
Building overflow.
Building overflow. All right, who's going to go overflow tonight? All right. Cool. Last one. Secret number 5. Get accountable to a coach or a mentor. The best things that I have ever learned are because I have coaches and mentors in my life.
Excuse me, could you repeat that?
Yeah, I didn't
Get accountable to a coach or a mentor.
Oh.
Get accountable.
You're thinking about the vampiric thing still. Oh, you said account? Yeah, no.
That's what it sounded like. I heard that too.
Accountable. I thought you said count or something.
Get accountable.
He's like, this talk was going real good until you said that thing. I think I'm gonna go now.
Punchline.
Yeah. How do you scare an audience away? Just start talking about that. Get accountable to a coach or mentor. I've been fortunate in my life to have many people that I've considered to be mentors along my path. Like through my adolescence, which is, as everybody knows, that's a really important season for their life. Not all of them are family members. One of them actually is somebody who's one of my dad's best friends. And he's actually, you guys know of him, he's in Amway. His name is Frank Miklas, and I was in Amway for a while. And I was really young when I was, because my parents were. But I came along and I hitched rides to go to these conferences and stuff. And there's one guy who just like came up while I was young, and he just like kind of just like treated me like an adult, and just like gave me like positive motivational attitude type things. And I believed more in myself because of some of the things that this guy believed in me. And sometimes, would you agree that all you need in life is somebody to believe something for you more than you believe it for yourself to get you to believe what they believe?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. And I've had that for me in my life. I've been fortunate. I've been blessed. I know that not everybody has the same story. But where are you going today? Where are you getting your source? Where are you getting that? This is actually a great place to actually get some of that. Because I know that what goes on here, Steve and I have lots of chats, and you guys get each other to like bounce things off of, right? The difference between a mentor and a coach, there are some differences. A mentor sometimes is somebody who's gone on the same exact path as what you're intending to go on, and you actually learn from that person. If it's, Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi was his mentor, right? Because he is going down, Karate Kid was going down the same path that his mentor went down. So he can teach him things exactly on that line. Whereas a coach often doesn't have the exact same experience as you, but what they can do amazingly well if they're trained is they can, it's not just training too, I think it's personality as well. I should back that up. I know some coaches who haven't got like formal training that are really good coaches. But they will be able to see things in your life that you don't necessarily see, and they'll be able to reframe things for you in your life that will help you see things from different points of view and different perspectives to help you move forward. The object is always to move forward. It's not to say the same. It's to move forward in whatever it is that you have. And that's one of the things that I pride myself. Steve mentioned it earlier. I believe that my fascination statement, what's interesting about me is that my aspiration with my clients and as a goal is to help people connect with their authentic, amazing self so that they can live with passion and have abundance in their life. If you just look at the end of it, if they live with passion and have abundance, that's a worthwhile goal or dream, I think. Because out of that becomes so many other things. If they have abundance in their life, it could allow for a lot of tangible, like car, vacation, lifestyle type dreams that they might have. But it starts not at that part. It starts with connection starts with connection. Same thing as what I said about the intention at the very beginning. My intention is that you feel and you express that in some way that you love yourself even more by the end of this. And then you can take that away from yourself. So if you connect with who you are, you understand yourself more, then you can connect with other people, of course, and love other people more. And then you can take that to the next level. You want to be authentic. You don't want to just be like kind of just like a phony. You want to be true to yourself, but sometimes we put walls up because it's what we've been conditioned to do, and we have the limiting beliefs that, help us think that, if we don't do this, then this is how we're going to, be perceived, or this is the result we're going to get. How would you love to actually be connected to who you are and totally sure of what you do and who you are and what's important to you? How would you like that? Awesome. Cool. And then the last part of that is that you're amazing. True, down to the core. So you were created as amazing. You were. Every one of you. We're created. We're all created. Amazing. Somewhere we lose sight on that. We don't tell each other that we're amazing. And I do this sometimes in my talks. I'm going to get them to sing. Is that okay? Can you guys sing?
You gotta ask them.
No. Are you guys okay to sing?
We're a tough audience, I don't know.
All right. Okay. All right.
Oh, I don't sing.
I'm going to close it off on this song. We're going to all hold a tune of some kind, all right? You're singing for yourself. You're singing for yourself. Why? Because you want to connect and to love yourself. You want to have authenticity and be true to who you are, genuine to who you are. And you're believing that you're amazing. Okay? So just sing these words. I'm amazing. 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 Woo! All right. Cool. All right. Sweet. Cool. So I'm going to open up a game, and I'll let some question and answers go on. How's that sound?
Yeah. It's your
Yeah?
Yeah.
Does that sound cool?
Yeah.
All right. You guys are amazing. This is a great audience. Thanks for being so cool. All right. That's awesome, you guys.
Turn the radio off.
Turn the radio off.
Yeah, sing to yourself.
Where are you drinking at that?
So cool. I'm going to actually show you something pretty neat. I spent about 10 months doing something that I think is amazing. That's right. Okay, so one of the things that I did in my coaching practice is I wanted to help people get from a point of where they were when they come to me when they feel stuck and unmotivated and they really just don't have passion, direction, whatever they come to me with, and actually figure out where they are so we can start moving forward. So I wanted a tool to help me get there faster so that they can just be like, okay, I want to hit the ground running, we want to get into action, we want to start using something applicable. So that's why I created this. And it goes through the 5 keys that we actually talk about really are illustrated well with this game. Now, you can all play it for free. It's totally a free tool. What it does is it allows you to actually score your life. And you're scoring it on what I call the Abundance Life Wheel. And the Abundance Life Wheel essentially is 14 categories that make up the human existence. 1-4. And when you actually look at the 14 categories, you'll be like, yeah, I think that's right. Me and my wife did a lot of work and research to try to get this right. We looked at other studies and life wheels and things like that, and I think that this actually will encompass everything. So the categories are health and wellness as an example. And I'm just going to score this thing randomly. You'll get the website later. It's abundancelifewheel.com. Okay? So what you do is you just score yourself between 1 and 10. Right now, how much abundance in life do I have in the category? And that was just health and wellness. Okay? How much abundance do you feel that you have in the category? Actually, does somebody actually want some live coaching? Okay, cool. All right, yeah, come on. Sure. All right. Cool. Thank you. Okay, well, you're brave. Right on. What's your first name again?
Adrian.
Adrian. Cool.
Pleasure to meet you.
All right, beauty. Okay, so all I'm going to get you to do is don't think too hard. Playing the actual first part should only take you about a minute. Okay? So all I want you to do is actually go here, and you're going to start off with health and well-being, and you're going to ask yourself the same question. So right now, how much abundance in life do you feel you have in health and well-being? Now what I usually find is when I do this live, people rate themselves 1 extra point up. Or 2. Ooh. So this seems like a really good audience. If you rate yourself a little bit lower, don't worry. They're not going to blame you. In fact, they'll probably be like, oh, phew. I don't have to be perfect. So what he's doing is he's going through the different categories, and they're health and well-being, family, lifestyle. They are personal development, giving back, finances and money, friends and relationship, career and business, fun and adventure, personal development, physical environment. So these categories make up the completeness of life. So once he's done scoring it, I'll show him some really neat things that you can do when you actually do it on your own.
So Scott, this is something that you would get a client to do.
Yeah.
As a prerequisite, kind of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I want all my clients to do this. I make them. I'm mean. All right. Cool. Sweet. There you go. All right. So Adrian,
shows the imbalance, right?
we're going to take a look at that. Yeah. Exactly. And I'll do some live coaching with you, and everybody can see that? Yeah? Okay, so you don't have to see where the categories are, what it is, but the illustration of the life wheel helps out, and the colors help too, right? And we've chosen colors to identify, like marriage and intimacy is red, God and spirituality is white, etc., right? So what do you see, Adrian, when you look at your life wheel?
Imbalance in some areas. Acceptance of some of my lives in other areas, and needs for improvement.
Yeah. Okay. All right. What I see to start off with is not that.
No? What do you see?
I see abundance.
Really?
Yeah. Look at that.
Tell me more.
Well, first of all, I want to go around here and I'll just look at you and just say, you know what? Your physical environment, you're obviously content with where you are.
I'm very happy with where I am now.
Yeah.
So I just moved here 2 days ago. It's been the most amazing experience I've had in ages.
Do you hear the abundance that just came out of that? Did that sound a little bit different than his first comment? Okay, all right. You must have a lot of fun and adventure going on in your life because you've rated yourself really high. There's abundance in that area, isn't there?
I'm very blessed with that. I've had a very intriguing life. I've had lots of unique experiences that I'm very grateful for in it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other areas where, I want to do more, obviously, but for now, I'm very content with where I've gone in that area.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. And looking at giving back, it looks like you must give back in some areas. It looks like there's abundance in that area.
Well, I'm blessed with very good friends and some people in my life who have really shaped who I am today, and I feel that it would be disingenuous of myself not to pay that forward with other people.
Is that abundance or is that not? How?
Hey, this is completely honest. Wait till you get to the other ones.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect. I've never met this man before.
You just got here 2 days ago, yeah. Personal development. You must be doing something in your life that makes you feel that you got abundance in that area of your life.
For a long time, I was going through a period of very bleak sort of despair, but I had an opportunity not too long ago to sort of clarify that issue that was holding me back. So now I feel like I'm ready to move forward with whatever life throws at me. So I'm really looking to get going, raring to go, sort of find that direction. So, I feel that once that issue is taken care of, it allows me to move forward.
That sounds like it's got some abundance happening there, eh? Awesome. How cool. And there's elements of abundance in other areas too, like your health, your wellness, your happiness, your family. You've got some elements of abundance with your friends and relationships. Tell me about that. Like you told us a little bit.
I've had some very good people in my life. I haven't had the easiest life ever, but I've been blessed with people who have helped me through my journey. Some people who have picked me up when I have been very, very low and said, you know what, you're a good person.
Yeah.
You know, you can do more than what you've done. I'm there for you if you need me. So for me, that's very important. The friends that I have in my life and the ones that are actually truly meaningful to me are the ones that I want to keep there, and I'm blessed to have them.
Oh, how cool is that?
It's amazing.
Look at you. Cool. That's awesome. Very cool. So now, when you look at the other things that you said at the very beginning, what did he say at the beginning? You can recite.
It kind of looks like it's unbalanced or balanced in some areas or unbalanced in other areas.
Yep. Yeah, that's one of the things he said. What else did he say?
Needs improvement in some areas or something like that.
Yeah. With me expressing how much abundance it is and you actually telling me how much abundance it is, does that make you look at your life a little bit differently?
It does. You know, I mean, you always look for the negatives, you don't look for the strengths. And when you start looking at it from a strength-based perspective, it really does, it makes you realize what you have going for you as opposed to what you don't have going for you.
Right.
So, and I mean, when you look at it from that perspective, you know, it's a lot easier to deal with instead of that negative doom and gloom where you're always constantly looking for your faults instead of the things that you're doing right.
Yeah.
So.
Man, that's awesome. That's so cool. That's cool. Very cool. All right. So what we did right now is we just really illustrated secret number 1, didn't we? He discovered himself early and often. Now what you can do is you can take this knowledge and say, okay, there's not too many measuring sticks, by the way, with life. There's measuring sticks with almost anything when it comes to business or finance. There's not too many measuring sticks when it comes to like how you really doing with life. It's like, well, I feel, can I say bad words here? I feel shitty. It's like, you know how you feel. You know, it's like I feel like I am just at my lowest point ever. I feel depressed. I feel low. I feel stuck. You know how you feel, but there's not a measuring stick too much, like really out there that helps you too much. This is my best attempt at actually creating a measuring stick of some kind for people to actually say, okay, well, these are the core components of my life, and in a visual way, because we respond to seeing things, this is how you can actually see your life. So you can do this anytime you want, man.
I'm going to take a look at it for sure.
Yeah. Now here's where I'm going to give you some coaching.
Okay.
All right, we're going to take a look at the next part. What's secret number 2? Secret number 2 is...
Balance and gaining momentum.
Yeah, living in balance and gaining momentum. All right, cool. So what we did just earlier is we actually we're spinning the life wheel for him. All right, so Adrian, look, we're looking at the life, and you know it's not spinning all that fast, but you know points it spins kind of fast, and that's okay, right? So what we can do is I built in some examples because it's helpful sometimes to actually see other people's examples. And these aren't real people. These are stories of people that have different names and cartoon faces. All right? So these are different examples. And you can read if you want at a later time what you might actually expect if somebody had this type of life or this type of life scattered or this kind of average and living on the default line. Or like Samantha, she's doing pretty good. Yeah,
She's got a lot of wind in her sails.
Yeah, she's doing all right. Yeah, and then coming back over here. So you're actually looking, and it's important to actually say, okay, well, where's their sort of like a governing line? Where's their measuring stick? I think that's important for you to actually see that. So that's for you to see. But then you can take a look at this and you can say, okay, well, I can see now that the life is spinning. The life wheel was designed in such a way that certain categories are at certain places strategically to actually show how it spins, and actually it'll slow down in different areas. Yeah. Now, what you do is you take the 3 things that I told you about. The 3 things with point number 3 was discover yourself early and often. So you can choose 3 different areas in 1 week that you'll be out of balance for, and choose those wisely because you want to make sure that those are the authentic ones that are really good. Yeah. Sometimes we say it's like, well, I should do this one.
Do you pick the 3 weakest or 3?
No, not the 3 weakest. You choose 3 that are the most important.
To you or?
No, in
you've done.
The most important. I'll say period. Okay. The most important, right? And what happens is you're not just choosing 3, you're actually choosing 3 based upon what's actually happening in your life. If you're renovating your house, you shouldn't probably choose all of the happy, feel-good ones. Okay? You probably should choose something like, work in finance or, health and well-being because you're going to be physically going for it and stuff like that, right? Okay? And you might want to choose one of the happy, feely things, right? Like the travel and vacation probably isn't the one you want to choose. Okay? So choose 3 in 1 week and then ask yourself one question. What one thing can I do, or what things can I do today that will help me raise my score by 1 point? Just by 1 point. You're not saying like I need to be a 10 tomorrow. It's like, but what thing can I do as I actually look at this? So if you chose that you wanted to look at, I have a client recently, he chose marriage and intimacy, he chose health and well-being, and God and spirituality. And he chose 3 separate target goals that he was going to do, and he put himself, right? And then he got into number 5, which is keeping yourself accountable to a mentor or a coach. So I kept him accountable. And by him actually saying, okay, these are he came up with them. These are the things that I want to do to raise those 3 areas up. And then he got accountability the next time. And even if things weren't going right, he did follow the secret. The secret to winning. Okay? So that's what you can do. And if you look at the next one, the second part of that secret was about momentum, right? Second secret. So what you do here is you can actually take a look at your momentum, and you can look at other people's momentum. So remember the inertia part. So the inertia part was that how much energy and effort does it take to get your life into motion? Right? Sometimes don't we feel like, it's like you can't move, right? So let's take a look at George. This is built like a windmill. So I grew up on a farm, so this idea is like totally natural for me. There's windmills on farms all over the place, and the wind would spin and they would catch wind. So if you had a blade that was like short, it would be naturally. So we built it with physics so that it would catch wind just like a normal windmill would on a farm. So in George's case, he has to put a lot of energy and effort to actually get his life even moving. You see it's barely moving here. He's at 50%. Now he's at 70%. And you can see the wind, it's actually pushing the flag. Now, oh man, it's like at 100%. Oh, but as soon as he gets to this, it's actually going to move. It's going to move here. Wait for it. Kind of.
Maybe.
There. They got a little bit of motion there. Oh, but then you see how it slows down, right?
So you use the areas where you're strongest to build momentum in the other areas where you're weak.
That's one principle for it. Sure. Yes. Because that's what's going to catch wind. Right? Because what you ultimately want is you want to actually take a look, and you can play around with this with these other people's. I've had some clients that just like sat there and like kind of played around with the little measuring thing. Just like, oh, it's like, where's the lowest point possible where inertia could take place? 62%. It's like, okay, they resonate with that. So pretty much what that says, okay, you want to see your inertia point? For you to keep your life wheel actually here, if you at 0, your inertia point right now to actually get one motion, is it's still going. You're at about 38% right now. That's about where your inertia point is right now. So you have to put in about 38% energy and effort to actually get your life continuously like working for you. Because who wants life to work for you? All right, cool, right? So what you can do is you can actually see what you can do to raise these areas, and as you actually keep on scoring it, you will see how your inertia point goes down. And all of a sudden you'll look like the previous guy here, where his inertia point is way lower. So there's your coaching.
Interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome. There you go. Cool.